ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys tonight. If you have been here before, welcome back. I always love having you guys back here. It makes it so worthwhile making these videos for you guys because you keep returning and it seems like you're enjoying them as well, and I really appreciate that. If you are new here, welcome. If you're a Jets fan or a fan of another team or even just a casual NFL fan, this is a safe space for you. You are always welcome here in the Jets Ward. We love having you here. Now, guys, I have a fun one for you guys in this episode. I have done a video on this already. The first video that I did was AFC Record Predictions. I told you there was going to be a two-parter. Now, I'm going to be doing the NFC, and I'm going to break it down just like I did last time in the AFC video, where I started off with the AFC East, then went to the AFC North, then to the South, then the West. I'm doing the same thing with the NFC. I'm going to start off with the Super Bowl champions, Eagles, and go down to all the last division as well. And the way I'm going to do this, like I did in the last video as well, make sure you check that on my channel as well, especially if you're an AFC football fan. If your team's in the AFC, make sure you check it out. I'd love to hear your comments on that. But for the NFC, like the AFC video, I am going to break it down from the top to the bottom of the division, who I think is going to win to who I think is going to fall short and come in last. Now, some of these divisions I think are stronger than others. Some I think can be very, very weak. And I want to hear your guys' opinions on this after. I'm excited to see what you guys got and what comments you have as well, if you agree or disagree. Another thing as well, on Saturday, I've been doing live streams at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Make sure you check those out. I've been doing power rankings of different positions in the NFL. Last week, I did defensive tackles. This week on Saturday, I am going to be doing power rankings of defensive ends. So be ready for that one. Make sure you check that out. I love doing the live streams. They're always so much fun. I normally stream for like an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer depending on how the video's going and questions. But guys, getting right into it. Like I said, I'm going to start out with the NFC East. And the team that I think is going to win the division is your Super Bowl champions. I think the Eagles are going to end up winning this division again. And what's going to happen is I think they end up with a 13-4 record. Now, I will say that I don't think that is the best record in the NFC East or in the NFC. We will leave that to later. But I do think they end up winning 13 games. I think they beat the Eagles or the Cowboys week 1. I think they beat the Chiefs. I think they beat the Rams. I think they beat the Bucks. I think they beat the Broncos. I think they beat the Giants, the Vikings. I think they split with the Giants possibly. They beat the Green Bay Packers. I think they end up losing to Detroit. I think they split with Dallas. I think they beat Chicago. They beat the Chargers, beat the Eagles. I think they split with the Commanders, and I think they might end up losing to Buffalo, causing them their 4th loss. So I think it's going to be tough. I honestly do for the Eagles. They check it out. These, like I said, these are my predictions, and these could go either way. There are some games that they could end up losing. There are trap games and everything. So be ready for those two. They could end up beating the Bills or losing to the Bills, or sweeping the Giants and sweeping the Cowboys. I don't know. But my prediction is that they end up winning 13 and lose 4. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I think they're going to be just as good. I think their defense is going to take a little bit of a step back. I think their offense is going to take a little bit of a step back as well. I don't think Saquon's going to go as crazy as he did last year. But I still think they're going to be the best team in the NFC East. Getting into it, the second place team, I got the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to end up winning, going 11-6. I think they make the playoffs again. Their division's not that strong. After the top 2 teams, I don't think they're that strong. Honestly, I think the Commanders are going to do very, very well. I think Jaden Daniels takes a step forward, not a big step forward. I think adding Debo is going to help. I think they need to sign Terry McLaurin as soon as possible to get him back in the building. I think there's a lot of things that they can do. Can McCaffrey take that next step as a slot receiver as well? The running game, is it still going to be strong? Austin Eckler, is he going to come back to what he was? Brian Robinson. They have all these weapons. Can they function just as well as last year? Let's see how the Commanders take now. Nobody expected them to be as good as they were last year. Can they keep that momentum going? I think they can. I think they go 11-6. Then in third place, I got the Dallas Cowboys. I think they end up going 8-9. They got a brand new head coach who's never been a head coach before in Schottenheimer, who's been a long-time offensive coordinator. I don't think it was the right hire for them. They went from McCarthy to Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer, I don't think it's a great move. I think they're going to win some games. I think they're going to rally towards him a little bit. Dak's coming off an injury. They got George Pickens, who I think is going to be a solid number 1B receiver to them, to CeeDee Lamb. They got Ferguson still as their tight end. They got Javonte Williams as their starting running back, which is, I think, a solid move to a 1-year deal. It's going to be interesting. I think the defense is still going to struggle with run defense, but we will see. They might be able to take a step forward. It's going to be interesting for the Cowboys. I think they still have a losing record. I think they go 8-9. I think it's going to still be a rough year for them, but they're going to end up in third place in their division. In fourth place, we got the Giants. I think they win 4 games. Russell Wilson's going to start the season. I don't think he lasts the whole season. I think they end up going to Jackson Dart, who I think is going to be awesome in the future, but I think he struggles in his rookie year. I think the Giants are going to be in for a rough season. I think they can beat the Bears. I think they can beat the Raiders. I think they can beat the Saints and maybe split with the Cowboys. Maybe split with the Commanders, giving them a 5-win season, but I am not sure. Maybe they beat the Niners, but I doubt it. It's going to be a really rough season for them, honestly. I think they only win 4 games. Again, I think Daboll ends up getting fired at the end of the season. I think Joe Shane gets fired at the end of the season as well. And I think Jackson Dart's their quarterback of the future, but I think Russell Wilson, they're going to try to push Russell Wilson even further. I just think it's going to collapse for them. I don't think he's the answer. I think Jackson Dart is going to be a solid option for them in the future, but not right now. So I think the Giants end up winning 4 games. Sorry, Giants fans. But leading into the NFC North, this is the best team in the NFC, in my opinion, the Detroit Lions. I think they end up going 14-3. Overall, offensively, defensively, I think they're just too good. I think they're a well put together machine. I know they lost their offensive coordinator. I know they lost their defensive coordinator. They lost their pass game coordinator as well. There's a lot of pieces that they have lost. But Dan Campbell is a great head coach. John Morton is a solid offensive coordinator as well. Overall, I think they brought back a lot of pieces. They've added some great talent as well. I just think they get better and better, and I think the Lions end up winning the division and end up winning the NFC in total and end up as the first seed. So 14-3 for them. In second place, I got the Green Bay Packers. I think they go 10-7. I like Jordan Love, but I think he still makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes, especially under pressure. Can he lose that? Can he take another step forward? He's got the weapons to do it. The offensive line is a little shaky after they lost their starting center, Josh Myers. Do they move Elgington Jenkins over to center? He's played it before, but it's not his strength. He's normally a guard. So the offensive line is a little in shambles right now for Green Bay, but they could have pieces to work with it. It's going to be interesting. I think they end up coming in second place in that division, and I think the Packers end up 10-7, fighting for a wild card spot. Leading into third place, I got the Vikings. I think they take a big step back this year. The reason I say that is McConnell is a great head coach, but J.J. McCarthy is still a question mark. He was out all season last year. I understand he's looking great in OTAs and in minicamp, but it's still to be decided. Can he take that step forward in a real fast-paced NFL game? It's to be determined. Right now, I don't think he can at this moment. I think he could be a breakout player, but after being injured all season last year, it's kind of hard not to be a breakout player next year. I think he's going to have decent numbers, but I think it's going to be a learning curve for him. So I think the Vikings end up going 7-10 and rebound the year after. And in last place, I got the Bears. I think they go 5-12. Caleb Williams, I think, is going to be better, but there's still a lot of question marks. The tackles on that team are not great. They boosted up the interior of the offensive line, which is great. I think Rome Odunze takes another step. I think DJ Moore takes a step back a little bit. They drafted another receiver as well who's been injured. Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland are their tight ends. I think they're solid. Defense, I think there's okay. They added Grady Jarrett on the defensive line, which is solid. But I still think the Bears are going to be struggling. They're in a really tough division, and I think it's going to be tough for them to make headway in the NFC, and especially in their own division. I think they end up winning 5 games and in for a rough year for Bears fans again. Leading into the next division, we get into the South. And I got the Buccaneers taking this division. Not going to lie, I think their division is the weakest one in the NFC. I think the Buccaneers are the best team, and I think they're going to be one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. Buccaneers, I have them winning 12 games, going 12-5. Honestly, I love Baker Mayfield. He does have some clunkers every now and again, but he's turned himself into an elite quarterback. Had some of the most passing yards last year, right behind Joe Burrow, I believe. A lot of passing touchdowns. He looks great since going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being in that system. He's turned out to be what we expected him to be when he was drafted number 1 by the Browns. It took him a little while to figure it out, but Baker Mayfield is an elite quarterback in this league. He's got elite weapons. I think they made a great move by drafting Emeka Egbuka. I think he's going to be a great receiver for them. Cade Otton, I think, takes a step forward as well. I think that defense, they lost a couple pieces, but they also added some younger pieces. I think they're going to be fine there. And the Buccaneers, I don't think will have any issues in their division. So I think the Buccaneers end up going 12-5. In second place, I have the Falcons. I think they end up winning five games. I think Michael Penix might take a step forward, but again, that defense is a little bit of a question mark with their edge rushers. I know they drafted 2 of them, but it's to be determined how they are. Their secondary is solid, but if your defense is out there every single time, 3 and outs and everything, it's going to be rough on the defense. It's going to take its toll. Falcons, I don't think they're that good of a team. I think they have pieces on offense. They have pieces on defense, but as a team overall, I don't think they're that great. I think they're going to end up winning 5 games. Leading into the third place team, the Panthers, I think Bryce Young takes a step forward, but that offensive line is still a work in progress. If they can't block for Bryce Young, doesn't matter how much of a step forward he takes, it's still going to be rough. They have the weapons. Can they protect their young quarterback to allow him to produce like he did in the second half of the year last year? I think they end up winning 4 games. They're in a weak division, but the NFC in general is tough. So I think the Panthers are going to struggle again. And we will see how everything turns out for them. But the last place, we get into the worst team in the division and the worst team in the NFL. In my opinion, I think they have the number 1 pick overall in the next year's draft. I think the Saints only win 2 games, and they might beat the Panthers once, and they might beat the Falcons once, and that's all they win. I don't think they're that good of a team. Tyler Shuck is their starting quarterback. If Derek Carr was starting, if he didn't retire, I think it would be different. I think they would win more games. Tyler Shuck is a big question mark. I don't know how he does. So it's going to be a big question mark for the Saints. Their defense is getting older as well. They have older players on defense, Demario Davis and Cam Jordan on the older side. Do they take a step back? Chase Young hasn't been what we've thought him to be as an edge rusher. Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Saints. I end up thinking they only win 2 games and are set for a rebuild for the next coming years. And getting into the final division, the NFC West, I have the Rams winning the division at 12-5. I think they take the series away from the Seahawks. I think they end up winning 12-5, become the division representative from that division. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they take a step back on defense, but on offense, they added Devontae Adams along with Puka Nacua. I think Tutu Atwell could take a step forward as well. They got pieces. Stafford is still a solid quarterback, but he's not getting any younger. He has dealt with injuries recently, so it's going to be interesting. Kyron Williams is still a great running back. He needs to work on the fumbling issues, but still a great running back, especially for fantasy. Shout out to him. It's going to be interesting to see what the Rams are. They're an older team now, so it's going to be interesting. I think they still need some work on the defense at linebacker. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Rams are, but I think they end up winning the division at 12-5. I also think the Seahawks end 12-5. I think Sam Darnold is going to take another step. I don't think last year was a fluke for him. I think he's got solid weapons at receiver for the Seahawks. They got Cooper Kupp. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got pieces over there to be solid. They have Noah Fant. I think he can take a step forward as a tight end as well. If Walker can stay healthy as the running back, I think he could be solid. Their defense, I don't think, is that bad either. I think the Seahawks could be a threat next year. 12-5, I think they make the playoffs. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think Darnold takes a step forward and shows that he's not a fluke. It shows that he can represent that Seahawks team and not even they won't even miss a step after trading Geno Smith. So I think the Seahawks are the second best team in that division. In third, I have the Niners at 10-7. I think the Niners have the easiest schedule in football. I think their defense under Robert Saleh is going to be better. Brock Purdy is still a question mark. Do they trade Brandon Ayuk? He's coming off an injury. Is Juwan Jennings? Can you trust him as a number one receiver? You have Kittle still. He's getting older, but I think he's still going to be a monster. Christian McCaffrey, what's he going to be like? I think he might be a step slower at running back, and he's coming back from an injury. 49ers are a question mark, but they have pieces. I think they can be solid. Bryce Huff, can he take a step forward again after a disastrous year with the Eagles? Being in Saleh's defense again, can he come back to what he was with the Jets and not the Eagles? 49ers, I think, are going to be better than a lot of teams think. I think they end the season 10-7, but miss the playoffs. And lastly, I got the Cardinals. I think they end the season with a winning record as well, going 9-8. They have Marvin Harrison Jr. They have McBride as a tight end, who's a great tight end. They have Kyler still, who's a good quarterback, not elite. He's solid. Defense, they got a little better as well. But overall, I think their division is just really tough. And I think the Cardinals end up in last place in the division with a winning record, which sucks. But that just shows how good that division is. But guys, that is all of my divisions that I have. So that's what I got for you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Your teams that I mentioned, do you think that they make sense? Do you think my records make sense? Do you think I'm missing something on these teams? Let me know down in the comments. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining me in the Jets Ward. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you again.